Hi, I am Miss Wildy, and welcome to our new lesson for today. This is Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. For our lesson for today, we have human evolution and its culture. At the end of this module, we will going to learn about the biological and cultural evolution of early to modern humans. We can explore the significance of human material remains as pieces of artifactual evidence in interpreting cultural and social, political, and economic processes. We can also recognize national, local, and specialized museums and archaeological and historical sites as a venue to appreciate and reflect on the complexities of biological and social evolutions as part of being and becoming human. There are four elements of culture, pero sa topic natin today, isa lang muna ang ating pag-aaralan. Number one, belief system, cultural values, attitude, and material and non-material aspects of culture. Today, we will focus our discussion to the last element of culture, which is the material and non-material aspects of culture. Okay, let's begin our discussion with its term and definition. What is culture? It is defined as that complex whole which encompasses beliefs, practices, values, attitude, laws, norms, artifacts, symbols, knowledge, and everything that person learns and shares as member of society. Itatopic natin sa susunod ang different approaches to the study of culture sa mga susunod na lesson. To understand culture, you need to know the following. Ayun. Hindi nagagalit si baby, ano? Excited lang siya dun sa mga new lessons natin for today. Number 1, biological capacities of humans for culture. Number 2, place of humans in the animal kingdom. And lastly, how humans came to develop early forms of culture. So let's begin. The need to study human anatomy to understand culture is very crucial. So physical and cultural anthropologists argue that we could trace how culture became possible by understanding our biological makeup or how it started. Number 1, our thinking capacity. Number 2, our speaking capacity. Third, our gripping capacity. And lastly, we will go into topic about our walking or standing capacity. Our thinking capacity, the primary biological component of human that allowed for culture is the developed brain. It has the necessary part for facilitating pertinent skills such as speaking, touching, feeling, seeing, and smelling. As you can see in the picture, pinakamalaki ang human brain compared dun sa mga ancestors natin. From macaque, gibbon, orangutan, gorilla, chimpanzee. Compared with other primates, makikita natin dito sa picture na human brain have a larger brain weighing 1.4 kilograms. Unlike chimpanzee have brain weighing only 420 grams and those gorillas weigh 500 grams. Due to the size of their brain and the complexity of its parts, masasabi natin talaga na human were able to create survival skills that help them to adapt to the environment. The bigger parts of our brain have different function, like in frontal lobe, and the motor cortex function is for recognition and our motor abilities. And in parietal lobe allows for touch and taste abilities. The temporal lobe, yung color blue, allows for hearing skills. The occipital lobe naman allows us for visual skills. Next is our speaking capacity. As the brain is the primary source of humans' capacity to comprehend sound and provide meaning to it, the vocal tract acts as the mechanism by which sounds are produced and reproduced to transmit idea and values. Here in the picture are the vocal tract comparison between the chimpanzee and the human. Traditional scientific belief na nag-start or na-develop ang language at 100,000 years ago, making it an exclusive trait of modern human. Yun na daw yung pinaka-latest. Pero, ang argue naman ni Dan Debo from Max Planck Institute of Psycholinguistics in the Netherlands na ang origin ng language daw ay nag-start as 500,000 years ago dahil dun sa discovery nila ng bone fragment from our ancestor known as Homo heidelbergensis. Hyoid bone. Hirap kasi. Hyoid bone. Sabi ni Hojan Boom 2013, crucial for speaking as it support the root of the tongue. So, yung fossil na yon, nakita yon sa Homo heidelbergensis, pero sa nearest relative natin ngayon na mga Neanderthals or Homo neanderthalensis, meron din daw sila nun. Pangatlo, our gripping capacity. Pansinin niyo yung kamay natin. Look at your hands. Pansinin niyo yung thumb. Relates sa ibang fingers. So, abot. This capacity to directly oppose your thumb with your other fingers ay exclusive trait ng humans. It allowed us to have finer grip. And we have the capability to craft materials with precision. The hand of human has digits, or fingers, that are straight as compared with the curved ones of the other primates. Compared dun sa iba. Ayan, look at the picture. Notice that the thumb of human is proportionately longer than those with other primates. And notice that the thumb of the human is proportionately longer than those of the other primates. Ayan. We have two types of grip. Number one is power grip that enables us to wrap the thumb and fingers to an object. And the precision grip enable humans to hold or pick an object steadily using their fingers. Isa sa mga dapat nating tandaan na ang development of culture mula noon hanggang ngayon is directly linked talaga to the physical development of humans. Lastly, we have our walking and standing capacity. Ito ay pagbabalik-aral lamang simula junior high school or elementary. Nakita at natutunan natin sa science teacher natin or AP teacher natin na we have two forms of locomotion, the bipedalism and quadrupedalism. Pedalism is the capacity to walk and stand on our own feet, while quadrupedalism uses all four limbs, kamay, and our feet. Although apes are semi-bipedal, humans are the only fully bipedal primates. Being bipedal, humans gain more capacity to move while carrying objects with their free hands. Aside from that, humans gained a more efficient form of locomotion suitable for hunting and foraging. Punta na tayo sa material aspect of culture or the stone tool industries. Let's start our discussion with the Oldowan Industry or the Oldowan tradition. It is marked as the beginning of our technological revolution. Gamit ang mga bato, sabi ni O'Neill 2012, The hard, water-worn creek cobbles made out of the volcanic rock. Ginagamit nila itong mga batong ito as hammer sa paggawa ng percussion flaking. So, this core tool na ginagamit nila for general purposes, and itong chopper din na ito ang nakagawa sila ng flake tool na ginagamit nila for knife. This evidence found in Olduvai, George, Tanzania. So, ayun, may landmark pa sila doon. And dated at 2.6 million years ago and used by our ancestors, Homo habilis. Sa paglalakbay ng mga Homo habilis, nakarating din sila sa Java, Indonesia, and northern China. The Acheulian Industry or the Acheulian tradition. The Acheulian is the longest and oldest stone tool technology in the world history. Ito ay ni-develop ng mga Homo erectus at na-inherit nila to sa Homo habilis. Using the same process, yung flaking. Homo erectus created hand axes. Pero sabi ni O'Neill 2012, nakagawa din sila ng mga tools kagaya ng chopper, cleavers, hammers, na ginagamit din nila or as knives and scrapers. Pero mas developed na siya. This industry was named after Saint Acheulean, a patron saint in southwest France, as these artifacts were discovered in the area. And it was dated 1.5 million years ago. Sa East Africa, from East Africa, nadala ito from Europe year 500,000 to 900,000 years ago, and sa China naman about 800,000 years ago. Let's talk about the Mousterian Industry. This industry was developed by Homo neanderthalensis or Neanderthals in Europe and West Asia between 300,000 and 30,000 years ago. So, na-develop or dinidevelop na nila this era yung mga napas sa kanila ng other industries. And aside from pre-made core tool and the extraction of flake tool, maliban sa mas napaganda nila yung mga tools na yon, nagki-create na rin sila dito ng art and symbolic materials. Na-uncovered itong industry nito about 1860. And evidence of this industry dating back 100,000 years ago also found in Northern Africa and West Asia. The Aurignacian Industry. The term Aurignacian was derived from the Aurignac or yung lugar sa France kung saan nakita ang evidence ng industry na ito. Aside from making tools, this industry used raw materials such as flint, animal bones, and antlers or yung sungay ng usa. It made this industry a cultural milestone for the modern humans in Europe. Kasi natututo na rin sila or na-develop na rin dito sa industry na to, or sa culture na to, yung self-awareness. Dito nakita or na-prove yung development through cave paintings and fabrication of accessories such as figurines, bracelet, and beads. So ito yung examples. From cave painting na nakita sa El Castillo Cave in Cantabria, Spain. Meron din silang figurines na ginawa, katawan ng babae. Gawa itong figurine na ito or sculpted ito from woolly mammoth tusk. And we have the Aurignacian Gravitian sculpture. And ito, the Holy Fels bone flute. Gawa ito sa buto ng hayop. The Magdalenian Industry. The Magdalenians lived some 11,000 to 17,000 years ago, at a time when reindeer, wild horses, and bison formed large herds. and the people appear to have lived a semi-settled life surrounded by abundant food. So, kung saan may mas marami silang mapapakinabangan, makakain, or magagamit nila for everyday needs, dun sila napupunta. So, in this industry, which is protoculture used by the early human, nag-advance na sila in technology like creation of microliths from flint, bone pa rin, and antlers, and gumagamit na rin sila ng ivory. The early humans during this period were engrossed in creating figurines, then personal adornment, mga accessories, and other forms of mobiliary art, o yung mga ginagamit nila sa pagta-transfer or pagmamigrate. The industry was named after La Madeleine, site in Dordogne, France. So, dito sa industry na to, natuto na rin silang gumawa na movable na bahay. Alam naman natin na nag-start ang mga tao noon ay naninirahan lang sa cave. So, in this industry, natuto na sila na gumawa ng bahay, as you can see in the picture, made out of bones ng malalaking animals and yung mga balat nun as their temporary shelter. Kung may salamat Shopee, yan, meron din tayong salamat may museum. The role of museum in preserving human heritage. Unlike yung mga immovable tangible heritage objects that are left in archaeological sites, yung ibang mga movable tangible heritage ay nirelocate naman sa museum. So, ano yung mga roles, no? Number 1, the museum as the door to the past. So, available lahat ng mga artifacts ay nasa museum. So, kung gusto mo yung makita, gusto mo yung maaral, maaari kayo mag-visit sa mga museums na available. Yung iba, nasa ibang bansa, and yung pinakamalapit dito sa National Museum. Sabi ni Talboys 2005, the International Council of Museums, o ICOM, defines a museum as non-profit-making permanent institution in the service of society and its development, and open to the public, which acquires, conserves, researches, communicates, and exhibits for purpose of study, education, and enjoyment, material evidence of people and their environment. Number 2, education begins with experience. Through museums, we learn about the material culture and non-material culture that gave rise to it, as well as the context in which both cultures are embedded. Through museums, we tap into human experiences of the past. As such, museums are quintessentially educational, sabi pa rin ni Talboys 2005. And lastly, an opportunity to learn about the past that holds the key to their future. According to the National Geographic Society, here are the 10 most famous museums na nag-handle ng biggest collection artifacts and fossils. Baka magkamali ako ng bigkas. So, ayan, pwede nyo siyang i-search. And kung pupunta kayo sa ibang bansa someday, please, paki-visit as much as possible kung kaya lang. Mag-visit kayo sa mga ganitong museums for additional knowledge na rin. Ayun, gusto ko rin i-share sa inyo yung sinabi ni Alan Barnard 2004 na ang first appointments ng mga anthropology noon ay mga professional anthropologists ay sa mga universities, museums, and government offices. Let's talk about the process of cultural and socio-political evolution before the end of the Paleolithic period. Napakarami natin na-discuss kanina na na-provide ng early humans in terms of physical environment and pag-establish ng culture. This way, we understand the succeeding adoption that they made, which revolutionized the entire way that the human species have existed in this planet. By the end of the Paleolithic period, the Earth was getting warmer as the Ice Age was already at its stage, and this implies that Earth's surface was changing. The sea level was rising again as the polar caps were melting. The land surface decreases, as some parts were submerged in water, and the warm climate allowed for the blossoming of new plants and extinction of others na nakikita din sa mga animals. Let's now proceed to the Neolithic Revolution. You can pause for a while this video para mabasa at ma-analyze ang characteristics between Paleolithic and Neolithic societies. When it comes to the tools they use, personal properties, yung arts na nagawa nila, the subsistence, their leadership, politically, social divisions, population, and its size. While analyzing the characteristics between Paleolithic at Neolithic, gusto ko na rin banggitin sa inyo yung two impacts or perspective sa Neolithic Revolution. Number one is, nakapag-develop na rin sila at this era ng agriculture and technology na nakakapag-supply ng mas madaming food sa society. And pangalawa, na-develop na rin nila ang self-actualizing activities kagaya ng arts, music, and politics. Aside from that, meron din yung mga negative impact, syempre, on human population such as social divisions, dahil na-develop na nila yung about sa politics, and high population, of course, kasi thousands na yung population dyan, and then yung gender inequalities. For our last topic for this lesson, we're going to tackle about the early civilization and the rise of their state. The earliest civilization rose by the end of Neolithic period, as the complexities brought about by the shift in agriculture or food production demanded a more rigid social structure that would manage the opposing perspective of various sectors. Pangalawa, as conflict between groups developed and intensified, the need to create more cohesive society became definite. Alamin muna natin the definition of the state. State is a community of persons more or less numerous, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory, having a government of their own, to which the great body of inhabitants render obedience, and enjoying freedom from external control. So, they have the four requisite elements, which are people, territory, government, and sovereignty. These elements will be further discussed sa Lesson 5. But for the meantime, gusto ko lang muna ipakita sa inyo ang mga definition ng bawat elements. As to how state rose, here are the 5 primary theories in origin of the state. Number 1, we have the divine right theory, that it means the divine creation and the ruler is ordained by God to govern the people. Pangalawa, we have the necessity and the force theory, which means a group forces members of another group or tribe to subject themselves to the ruler o yung pinaka-leader. Pangatlo, we have the paternalistic or maternalistic theory, and it attributes the origin states to the enlargement of family, which remain under the authority of father or mother. The social contract theory, which means the creation of a state means mutual agreement between the leader or the ruler and the ruled o yung mga pinamumunuan niya to ensure order and security from outside threats. And lastly, we have the natural theory that the humans have innate needs to be part of the community. Ang example nito is the Greek philosopher Aristotle described human as a political animals, and as it is in the nature to indulge in politics. So, natural na talaga na may namumuno sa isang tribe o sa isang grupo or society. Natutunan natin in this lesson that culture is product of human capacity and their determination to survive in different elements of environment. It reminds us that the stone tool technology informs us of the capacity of human to continuously alter their behavior to suit their circumstances. That's the end of our lesson for this week. See you again next time. Bye!